Did you hear the announcement that Moses made yesterday?
Yeah, I was talking to Emil, and we both agreed. We must be getting really close to that promised land Moses speaks of.
But do you really think the Lord told Moses to select 12 men to spy out this land?
After all we've been through, I think it's safe to assume that when Moses says God said, God probably said.
What about the 70 elders? Do they have a say in it?
Hey, ladies.
Hey.
So, pretty exciting news yesterday, hey?
Yeah, we were just discussing whether the Lord really told Moses to select 12 men to spy out the so-called promised land, or if this was just one of Moses's bright ideas.
After what happened a while ago with his sister Miriam, I wouldn't be doubting whether Moses is hearing from God. As it stands, Yahweh has made it very, very clear that Moses is the man he has chosen to speak through.
Yeah, that was horrible what happened with Miriam.
So, Azuba, what time did they say that they're leaving tomorrow?
Likely just before sunrise.
Well, I heard that the journey might be up to 40 days. I hope you're prepared.
Oh, just thinking about that, I don't know how I'm gonna cope being away from Emil for that long.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Suba, it's easy for you to say. You and Caleb have been married for a few years now. Emil and I just got married a month ago. We haven't even settled in, and now he has to go spy out some land.
Well, that's yet to be seen.
Ladies, we must trust the words that Yahweh has spoken through his servant Moses. Can you imagine? Finally getting to call somewhere home.
Yeah, it would be nice to be done with this sojourner lifestyle. Constantly living in tents, it's exhausting.
Oh, you can say that again. I'd love to put behind us that dreadful diet of manna and quail. Oh, I think a few of us are traumatized of eating it day after day.
Mm-hmm. The Lord has plans for us, ladies. He has been nothing but faithful. Just think about it. Look at our shoes. Our shoes haven't worn out despite walking day after day after day. Ladies, even our clothes haven't needed repairing.
That is true, but I would like some variety in my wardrobe. It's all become dull and rather bleak. Can you honestly blame us for wanting something different?
Yeah, and back in Egypt, we got pots and pots and pots of meat and everything we wanted to eat. Oh, do you remember the Egyptian women's clothing? Weren't they just the finest?
Totally.
Well, I need to go to Caleb and make sure he has everything ready for the journey tomorrow.
Well, at least you won't have to pack any shoes and tunics, eh?
Do you guys need another Red Sea to split to understand that Yahweh is making a way for us? I think we've learned that mindless grumbling and murmuring doesn't get us anywhere. Bye. I guess you can take people out of Egypt, but you can't always take Egypt out of people. You almost packed up?
Hey, hon. Yeah. I was just talking to Joshua. Seems like the other 10 are all packed up and ready to head out tomorrow as well.
Can you believe it, Caleb? We get to be a part of this. God has been so good to us. We seem so close to finally resting and occupying the land that Yahweh has for us.
Yes, Azuba. I believe we're getting close. But we must keep our eyes on Yahweh and trust Him all the more.
But honey, do you feel scared?
Well, I can't focus on all the things that could go wrong and the risks that we'll have to take. We're commanded to be of good courage, so I must take to heart what Yahweh said through His servant Moses and walk by faith.
You know, dear, I sure honor your tenacity and deep trust in Yahweh. Come to think of it, in your 40th year of life, You're entering what could end up being a 40-day journey that would change our lives forever.
Well, I never thought about that, but all I know is I feel as young as I did when I was 20. I hope that when I'm 85, I have the same strength as I have now.
Well, Lord knows, me too. And may it be according to the hesed of Yahweh. Well, I guess it's that time. We need to get some sleep and rest up for the journey ahead. You have a promised land to prospect and some reporting to do.
Well, we've entered the season of the first ripe grapes, so let's see what we'll bring back with us.
Well, just make sure you bring yourself back and a good report, and I'll be happy.
Will do, hon.
Move faster. We've been walking and walking.
I could care less. Lose some weight.
You're walking fast, man. Just okay. All right.
Fine.
That's my sandal. Okay. So the things that Moses wanted us to scout out are what again?
Emil, how many times have we gone over this?
I know. I'm just so anxious. It's the first time since I've been away from Uzit since we got married, and well, I don't know.
Just get yourself together.
Can we just go over the criteria just one more time? I promise I'll put it in my memory.
No, you're not, but okay. First, okay? We gotta scout out. We're scouting out the people, right?
So,
Yeah.
look the land over, see what it is like. Okay.
Yeah. And then we have to assess the people, see if they are strong or weak, few or many.
Right. Assess the people, see if they're strong or weak, few or many.
Emil, if you're going to just repeat aloud every word that I say, I'm going to cuff you.
Whoa. Looks like somebody woke up on the wrong side of the tent.
Do you want me to finish or not?
Yes, please, go on.
Okay. We have to look at the land, see if it is plentiful or harsh. And we have to describe the towns that they live in.
I think that makes sense. But what are we supposed to describe concerning the towns again?
If they are in open camps or fortified with walls.
Okay. Open camps or fortified with walls. But wasn't there something about some grapes and some soil?
Hey guys, what's happening? What are you squabbling about today then?
Yeah? Please, don't interrupt us. If I have to go through this one more time with Emil, I'm going to lose it.
Go through what though?
I was going over about what happens when we get into Canaan for the 15th time.
Oh, sorry. I was just wondering how far are we until we pitch our tents?
Do I look like the designated travel guide of the group? I don't know. Take it up with Caleb or Joshua.
What's gotten into this guy today? Obviously someone did not wake up on the right side of tent this morning.
That's what I said.
I woke up just fine.
Yeah. Okay. Where exactly did we leave off before Hoshea came in again?
For the final and last time, we are to look at the soil, see if it is fertile or barren, if there are forests, and lastly, we need to grab a sample of the produce that grows there.
Okay. I think I got it. Yeah, at least for now. Hey. You think Joshua and Caleb are going to give us each a part of the mission?
Do you ever stop talking?
Well, my new bride doesn't seem to mind that I talk a lot.
You know, in case you haven't noticed, I'm not your wife.
Well, thankfully, I couldn't be more grateful.
It looks like Caleb and Joshua are pitching up their tents here for tonight.
Oh, phew.
There he goes.
What a big relief, man. I feel like my legs are gonna fall off from all this walking. Ugh.
Joshua, are we pitching up our tents here for tonight?
Yep, start pitching your tents. Tomorrow we're scouting out the land.
Hey, Shafat! This is it! We're really doing it! We're really doing it!
Settle down, please.
I think we should give ourselves spy nicknames.
Emil, come closer. 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 Too close. Okay. Have you ever celebrated a birthday past the 15th year?
What do you mean?
It's called growing up.
Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it. Yours can be Dark Cloud.
You know what? Okay. Good night, Emil.
Good night, Dark Cloud.
Hey, Caleb.
Joshua, how's it going?
Pretty good. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. Can we go
Yeah.
over the plan?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I was thinking of breaking off into groups of about 3 to 4, and then taking the guys down into Hebron, and then making our way to the Eshcol Valley from there.
Yeah, sounds good. You know, Josh, the land sure looks fertile from what I can see. Seems like Yahweh has truly reserved the best for us.
I know, Caleb, I know. But we won't be taking it without a battle.
Well, we'll have to remind everyone to strictly obey the instructions that Moses had sent us with and only report what we saw. You know, I have this concern, and it's that the people might be tempted to make their own conclusions about what they see rather than trusting in Yahweh.
Yeah, I could see that happening, Caleb. But you and me, we need to hold fast to the promise of Yahweh no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. And for everybody's best interest, we better not group Emil and Shaphat together.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought we were going to see sandals flying at one point.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow mission commences. I gotta admit it, I'm sure looking forward to seeing what the grapes look like down in Eshcol Valley.
I think we're in for some historic days.
Totally.
With that, they were on their way. They scouted out the land from the wilderness as far as Rehob towards Lebo Hamath. Their route went through the Negev desert to the town of Hebron. Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, descendants of the giant Anak, lived there. By the way, Hebron had been built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. When they arrived at Eshcol Valley, they cut off a branch of a single cluster of grapes. It took 2 men to carry it, slung on a pole. They also picked some pomegranates and some figs. They named the place Eshcol Valley, Grape Cluster Valley, because of the huge grapes that they had cut down there. After 40 days of scouting the land, they returned home. They presented themselves before Moses and Aaron and the whole congregation of the people of Israel in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. They reported to the whole congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. Then they told the story of their trip.
Joshua, please, have the men report back all you were able to find out in your journey to Canaan.
Thank you, Moses. Shaphat, why don't you start?
Okay. Well, I'm happy to announce that we went into the land in which you sent us. And it does flow with milk and honey. Just look at the grapes.
Whoa.
Oh, look, there it is.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Check that out. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Word of warning though, the people they are fierce. And their cities are huge and well fortified.
And we ran into the descendants of that giant, Anak. Remember him? Yeah, he multiplied all right. Bunch of them walking around like they own the land. And let's not forget about the Amalekites. They've spread out like an invasive species along the Negev. Then, when we got to the hill country of Canaan, we saw the Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites all holding down that area. I'm telling you, there's not a place that those ites aren't anywhere.
Okay, excuse me.
Oh yeah, how could I forget about the blistering Canaanites comfortably set along the Mediterranean Sea and along the Jordan? Oh, we're gonna die.
Okay, silence everybody. Let's not focus on all of that. Let's go and take the land. We can for sure conquer it.
Caleb, you saw them with your own 2 eyes. We cannot go
Up against them. They are stronger than we are. See, I'm not the only one that thinks so.
Okay, but what did Yahweh say though?
Yahweh said it's a land he's giving to us.
Don't you guys get it? If Yahweh said he is giving us the land, then he will give us the ability to possess it.
Yes, but how can we conquer a land when it's already been possessed? By giants, may I add.
Setho, how did we escape Egypt? Was it not by the mighty right hand of God?
Yeah, but that's different. We were running away from our enemies. Now we're expected to run into them.
No, Emil, you're focusing on the wrong thing. Where is your faith?
Okay, it seems fear has filled your heart and is now determining the outcome of things instead of what Yahweh has said.
Yeah, all that might be true. But Anak's descendants, they're massive. And compared to them, we're like grasshoppers. They're gonna chew us up and spit us out.
Well, guys, you usually know me. I never agree with anything that Emil says.
Yeah.
But I think he might actually have a point.
If Shaphat is deciding to agree and take Emil's take on this, I think we might be seeing history unfold.
Okay, good grief. Joshua, let's go.
That night, the whole community began weeping aloud, and they cried all night. All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole community began complaining, wishing that they had died in Egypt or even in the wilderness. They began to rebel against the command of the Lord, their God, and complained in their tents and said, "The Lord must hate us. That's why he has brought us here from Egypt, to hand us over to the Amorites, to be slaughtered. Where can we go? Our brothers have demoralized us with their report."
So, what did Zephyr tell you about the trip?
Sorry, ladies. I was just running late getting to the well.
My Sether? Oh, yes, sorry, your Sether. Well, he did say that the land is very fruitful. But he also told me that there's giants for days.
Yeah, and Emil was saying that Anak's descendants would be able to descend on us.
But maybe if the land is fertile and fruitful, maybe we should strike up some sort of treaty with them or become their neighbors.
Well, surely the elders thought about this. Perhaps they just wanted the men to scout out the land to see what we're up against.
Hi, ladies. Another scorcher today, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. So, Hella, did you hear what the men reported about this so-called dreamland that Moses says is ours to take?
Yeah, I've heard bits and pieces here and there, but I'm curious, what did your husband say it was like?
Emil said the land would basically swallow us up. It really doesn't look promising.
What? We sojourned all this way just to find out the place that we have been traveling to is in fact no dreamland like we're promised?
Yeah, The word is going around that we should have turned back a long time ago.
Turning back?
People are even starting to wonder if there's a way to get rid of Moses.
Get rid of Moses?
Oh,
I don't know. It's starting to seem like this 40-day journey into the desert has possibly brought a curse upon us.
Well, based on how it's been looking, I wouldn't put it past us.
So guys, any further updates on what the plan is regarding Canaan?
Well, if it's up to me, it's looking like we start our trek right back to Egypt. Or, at the very least, look at staying out here in Kadesh Barnea. See, the land isn't so bad.
What? Emil, why would you say that? I heard some of the grapes you guys brought back were nearly as big as our heads.
I mean, yeah, they're massive, all right, but...
So, what's the problem?
Well, despite the land flowing with all things good, it will devour anyone who attempts to live there. The people occupying this land, they're huge, like giants.
Yeah, I saw them with my own eyes. They're not the type that you want to mess with. So, it's looking like we start our trek right back to Egypt and have Pharaoh as our old boss, or we're gonna die out here.
This is horrible news. Why would Yahweh send us to this land only to die in battle?
Look, man, it's not too late to make plans to choose a new leader and head back to Egypt, you know?
Guys, Moses and Aaron have called a meeting.
Sether, I saw you making a plan with Emil. Can you loop me in after this meeting?
Yeah, sure.
We've got to find a way out of this mess.
Yeah.
Then Moses and Aaron fell face down in front of the whole Israelite assembly that was gathered there.
Caleb, how long have Moses and Aaron been praying like that?
Oh man, I don't know, but it seems like a really long time.
Okay. Everyone, come in and take a seat. Listen, the land that we traveled through and explored is a wonderful land. And if the Lord is pleased with us, He'll lead us safely into that land and give it to us. You guys saw what that land has to offer. It's flowing with milk and honey.
Do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land. They're only helpless prey to us. They have no protection. But our God will be with us, so do not be afraid of them.
Fear and rebellion seem to have taken root and blinded some of you from trusting in Yahweh. Men, this is the same God that just delivered us from captivity.
We implore you, please, repent. The promises of God are true. He does not lie.
If Yahweh said this is a land He's going to give to us, we need to take Him at His word and trust that He will go before us and make a way.
Joshua, I have a question.
Okay.
What? How do you guys not see that? It seems like you're the only people that actually believe that we're able to do this is you two. Look around. Look around. How do you not see that you are terribly outnumbered? Honestly, I don't see how we can overcome that multitude of men and take over that land.
Well, we won't on our own, but our God will be with us. He promised that. Don't you see? You all are focusing on your own strength and not trusting in God's power. He's able to lead us into triumph.
Men, there comes a time in life where we get to a crossroad. And for many of you, this is that crossroad. Will you trust God?
Guys, please, let's not give up. We've come this far together. We can for sure possess this land if God is for us.
You know what? I think it's time we make our exit strategy. Right? Those two have truly lost their minds. They're not willing to reason or listen to any of us.
Couldn't agree with you more, Shafat. Those two are delusional for thinking that we can overcome that men and take over that land. What faith.
Joshua, what has gotten into these people?
Caleb, I really don't know, but I've never seen Moses and Aaron that torn up. I overheard Moses speaking to Yahweh, and believe me, the line has been drawn.
Joshua, we can't abandon the promise of God. The Lord didn't deliver us out of slavery to merely leave us here. He has a plan for us to prosper, for us, and not to harm us, and to give us a future.
Amen, Caleb. I fully agree with you. But we're seeing just how easy it is for people to lose trust in Yahweh, despite Him only doing good to them. I hate to say it, but they've become stiff-necked and rebellious, and I am devastated that they won't humble themselves and just trust Yahweh.
Well, how is this happening? We're commanded to fear not. When we crossed through the waters, He was with us. We weren't overwhelmed. We have been preserved through the desert, and the miracles and signs are irrefutable.
Moses has interceded for his people, but if they don't turn their hearts back to Him, I don't think that they're going to be able to go ahead and possess the land. Their fear ultimately will become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
They fear being left here alone, and tragically, I think that might be the end if they don't humble themselves.
The fear of man lays a snare. Sadly, what's happening is they're making our enemies bigger than our God. Caleb, they're stepping into a snare that will keep them from moving in the victory that Yahweh promised us.
Joshua, let's hold true to the promises of God. We know it won't be easy, but despite how difficult it looks, Yahweh is able to fulfill what He has promised. So it is our charge to remain steadfast, no matter the circumstances.
Come on, let's go to Moses and Aaron and let them know that we're standing with them.
Let's go.
Joshua and Caleb, what is it that you wanted to tell us?
Moses, we want you to know that we are standing with you and Aaron. These past days have been extremely difficult, but Caleb and I are absolutely assured that God will fulfill His word and lead us in victory to possess that land.
Yahweh has indeed spoken, and your faith shall be rewarded. Out of the 12, only you two shall see what God has promised. Caleb, you should know that the Lord has said is because there's a different spirit in you, and because you have followed the Lord fully, that He will bring you into the land in which you went, and your descendants shall possess it. Hold this close to your heart. The Lord has seen you.
Moses, what must I do as we go ahead?
Continue to trust and obey. It will preserve you and keep you strong, even young in old age. And Joshua, you have believed and you have followed the Lord. He's been preparing you to become a leader for those who will be entering the land.
I still have so much to learn from you, Moses.
Yes, even in that, do not fear, but be of good courage, for the Lord is with you. He will grant you the courage to lead the people, to possess the land that He has given. Lastly, each person must choose whom they will serve. The temptation will always be to lean on one's own understanding. Every way of man seems right in his own eyes, but the Lord, He weighs the heart. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. He is our deliverer, and the nations shall know that our God reigns over every other God. He is the way, the truth, and the life.
And with that, history was made, and God remained faithful to his promise. Joshua and Caleb were the only ones out of that whole group to enter the promised land. And Caleb, at 85 years old, testified of God's faithfulness and appealed to Joshua. Here are his words. The Lord has kept me alive and well all of these 40 years since Moses made this promise, even while Israel wandered in the wilderness. Today I am 85 years old. I am as strong now as I was then when Moses first sent me on that journey. And I can still travel and fight just as the Lord had promised. So, give me the hill country, as the Lord promised me. You will remember that as scouts, we found the descendants of Anak living there in great, walled, fortified cities. But if the Lord is with me, I will drive them out of the land, just as the Lord said. So Joshua blessed Caleb and gave Hebron to him as a portion of land. Hebron still belongs to the descendants of Caleb because he wholeheartedly followed the Lord, the God of Israel.
You know what time it is. Shaphat, hit it.
Do.
Okay, come on. Whose report will you believe? Come on, help us out. Whose report will you believe? Whose report will you believe? Whose report will you believe? His report. His report says I am healed. His report says I am filled. His report says I am free. His report says victory. Whose report? Whose report will you believe?
We shall believe the report of the Lord.
Whose report will you believe?
We shall believe the report of the Lord.
Whose report will you believe?
We shall believe the
Last time, let's hear you. Whose report will you believe? We shall believe the report of the Lord.